Well, hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Ascension Playground. So today I'm joined by my dear friend, Brandy. And Brandy, hi there. Hey.
Hi,
Thank you
thank
for
you for
joining
inviting
me.
me.
Well, you're welcome. We're thanking each other at the same time. But for those of you who haven't met Brandy yet, she and I met almost 4 years ago as we were both studying and learning from Julia Balaz and the Quantum Soul Guidance Practitioners course. And so it's fun to see over the many years the evolution of Brandy and myself. But it's amazing that in 2026, in January, there was a launch of the second annual Global Summit for QSG. And so when I got to see Brandy's share, it was like 45 minutes of awe. She talked about the Galactic Center, the Super Galactic Center, the Great Attractor, and the Shapley Supercluster, how it fits into like her love of the stars and the galactic and the celestial. Well, it turns out the more I got to know Brandy, she's what you would call a psychic intuitive. And so she knew from very young that she was special, and the lives that she's had on other star systems, some of them are remembered, and she's had experiences with star families. So this is like, if this sounds like you and you're on this trajectory and remembering more about where you've been from a soul perspective, I mean, Brandy, I've witnessed her give readings and teach classes. And the thing that is most interesting to me is I can almost see when she's like bringing in her Syrian star family, or she's tapping into the Pleiadians because there's so much love. So it's sharing friends with you here on the playground, really to help lighten and spark an interest in creativity and the stars. So, hi, Brandy, and welcome.
Hi, Ursula. That was such a beautiful introduction. I feel humbled and so grateful just to be here with you and share space and share some of these beautiful connections that you have with the cosmic super points or galactic
Oh, that's right. So
access
today is
points.
all about giving me a mini reading based on
Yes.
my natal chart. But I got to tell you, I'm still in awe. It's here. It is March, and Brandy's summit presentation went out, and I was just like, do you know how many people have asked me specifically, what does it mean if my natal sun is
Mhm.
conjunct the galactic center or super galactic? And so Julia Balaz has launched a new class, but Brandy brings it and makes it real with her intuitive way of working with visuals. So I got to tell
Yes.
you, she's got like so many amazing things. She knows about the stars. She's had real life experiences. She's launching classes for those of you studying galactic astrology and wanting to learn how to use the program called Canva. So she's starting to share her love of artistry. So the presentation she's giving me today, she's created, but you're going to see images that sure, they might be helped with AI, but it's Brandy recognizing particular mm, entities or cosmic points that really is for me the differential. It's not just AI generated, there's some kind of knowingness that she brings. So, Brandy, I don't
Yes.
know.
If I can, I just want
Share.
to share the my relationship with these cosmic access points in that they represent this beautiful evolutionary process of our soul and how we're interacting with the universe. And they also stimulate and catalyze our multidimensional field, which is what my presentation was about. The slideshow that I've created for you is helping to kind of ground that information and how these cosmic access points influence your soul's gifts here on earth and your interactions with your relationships in your own life and your own identity. I just want to also just reiterate that these are cosmic access points. And these are areas in the universe when they show up in our charts, when we engage with them, as I mentioned in our presentation, through thought, sound, and love, we're able to begin this beautiful relationship. It helps to kind of expand our field and bring us into this knowing. And the idea that they are black holes can seem intimidating. I've heard that somewhere. I follow this wonderful man. His name is Samuel Lee. He is a psychiatrist that has included the work of Ashiana Dean into his perspective of psychiatry and healing. And he mentioned something about black holes being a rip and tear in the cosmos, in the fabric. And so I just want to address that because that could very well be the case. He mentions that the galactic center is a rip caused from the Lyran Wars. And I thought that that was a very interesting. I'd never heard that before. I bring this to your attention now for any of your listeners that maybe are intimidated with these black holes. But I want to present to you an idea that they are the very center of a toroidal sphere of the region in which they are activating. And if they're pulling something into the black hole, then at the other end of that, it's expanding out. And so, depending on which side of the black hole that you are on, will dictate the relationship and the magnetism that it is playing in our lives. And so, I just wanted to bring that to your attention because I thought it was fascinating, a
It is
fascinating
amazing.
perspective.
I hadn't heard that before.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, though, when you look back in time, like even 20, 30 years ago, we knew perhaps about the galactic center, right? And then maybe the super galactic center made sense, but there's like plus 33 universes going around that
Yes,
center.
it's
But
just incredible.
it's incredible. And then Shapley and Laniakea, the great attractor. But here's the thing, it's that hermetic principle of as within, so without. So when the technology and the science catch up and we start seeing what's already been in existence, and there's probably more black holes beyond,
Yes.
what we know today. It's just when the consciousness seems like it's ready to receive. Brandy's, if you would like to get to know Brandy a little bit better, you can find her at her website called ourgalacticstory.com. And right away, you're going to tell that Brandy brings artistry, intuition, science. I mean, it's a beautiful blend. And you can see on her homepage her services and readings and about Brandy. But I'm just going to cut to the chase and go, well, look, there we go. There's the Quantum Soul Guidance Certificate Program.
Thank you, Julia.
Thank you, Julia. And if you're interested in that program to learn how to be a certified practitioner, in the description notes are some of my affiliate links. So feel free to check out what's happening with Quantum Soul Guidance. But here's really, before we get to my thank you, my little chart about my natal, my moment of birth, and how those four super cosmic hubs or axis points are working. For those of you who might be interested, Brandy's offering for $111 a beautiful, personalized 10-page presentation on you and how these black holes work with your natal chart, the video presentation. So here's how you find Brandy. And before I go away from this, when you check the About Me, you'll really have a sense of Brandy as being a star sister who remembers where she's come from. So many of us are kind of getting I think I was there. I think I'm waking up. Let me have a natal chart reading of my galactic points, which Brandy offers as well. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that she also has studied, what is this, Brandy? Pranic healing with prana
Pranic
hands.
healing with Mestre
So,
Co.
wow, very
And
spiritual.
capoeira.
Wow.
Capoeira was my big, I was a capoeirista for 6 years. And I actually went to the ocean today and was singing capoeira songs and watching the sunrise. And I realized how powerful sound and how powerful that experience was for me and my engagement in the cosmos. Although I didn't realize it at the time, I just, yeah, it was a beautiful experience and really opened me up and healed me on vibratory ways. That was just, it was incredible. It really brought up that warrior part of me.
Yeah. Yeah. With especially with so much in Aries happening right now, and it's just
Oh.
a dog pile. So without further ado, tell me what are these black holes from my natal moment when I was just a boop?
Okay, so one of the most important things for me when doing these reports is the cover page. I really put a lot of detail and thought into the cover page. And so this is Ursula. And when I think of Ursula, I think of that what we're looking at is a representation of the Shapley attractor, a black hole behind. And it seems so big and so intimidating in some cases that I see Ursula as blowing these beautiful iridescent bubbles into the black hole. So I see Ursula as this cosmic creatress. We often look outside of ourselves to see what it is that's out there, but Ursula is a container for creation and beauty and authenticity. And so when I just saw this woman, she reminded me of you, and just in pure form, and your very thoughts and your very being, just by being, are sending these signals into the Shapley attractor or into these black holes that are found in your charts. Cosmic access points, as Ursula mentioned, are the Galactic Center, the Supergalactic Center, Laniakea, and Shapley Attractor. And we identify what cosmic access points by galactic astro charts that are found on Julia's site, which is galacticastrochart.com. And so here, when I began analyzing all of the data in Ursula's chart, I highlighted all of her cosmic access point connections and alignments. And to simplify this, because I like visuals, I like to see what I'm and know in big what I'm looking at. I've stated here her strongest connections are with the Shapley attractor, which she has a conjunct alignment to, and 3 alignments total, and she has conjunct alignments to the super galactic center. I just wanted you to have a visual of where I'm getting this data and this information when I am analyzing and looking into what these connections mean. So I'm going to start with the supergalactic center. And the supergalactic center, they're pointing to the area of life where relationships are catalyzing our expansion and our evolution. Ursula has a conjunct alignment with Black Moon Lilith, and she also has a trine alignment with Saturn. So to keep this simple for today's presentation, I just want to look at her Lilith. And her Lilith is showing up in her first house and in the zodiac of Libra. And so Lilith is usually referring to the things that are hidden. within us, our deepest, darkest secret. But I also like to rephrase that. It's the area of life where we have an opportunity to be ruthlessly self-honest with ourselves. And Libra is the expression of ourself that is harmonizing. And so she is able to look at and really identify and harmonize the things that are inside of her that she is needing to be honest with. And I want to say that usually I think that Lilith is showing us, again, those secrets, the things that maybe there's shame revolved around. But because she has the super galactic center, she doesn't have an opportunity to be shameful and hidden. She is in hiding even from herself. She is able to see exactly what it is she needs to do in the parts of herself that require this harmonizing vibration and harmonizing attention. And it shows up is in her first house. And this is her presence. This is her I am. This is who I am. And so with when all of these line up together, it just again lends itself to Ursula. It doesn't mean that this journey would have been easy, and Black Moon Lilith probably shows that. It's, it's a little shadowy and maybe is a little bumpy at first prior to being able to recognize the relationships that aren't in alignment with who she is. So you are born with the power to tap into 0 point naturally. That's what these black holes offer us. And your ability to, or you have the ability for absolute dissolution of drama, trauma, and past experiences through all areas of the cosmos happens by just being you. So your very presence dissolves the trauma, drama, and past experiences. Again, it doesn't mean that this was easy. It might have been a little bit bumpy because it is the Black Moon Lilith. But it, and Lilith tells me that you covet this gift, but it is just who you are. So I want to say that when I say it's not easy, I want to say maybe perhaps it just took a moment to calibrate who you are. And once that calibration happened, there's no turning back. It is just who you are. I would like to elaborate just a little bit more, if you will, and go a little bit deeper into exactly what it means when the supergalactic center is holding Lilith. And so you likely carry a memory, and some of this is a little intuitive. Some of this are what I've learned from the class I took with Julia. So I think that you likely brought in a soul memory where you were unable to express yourself. It maybe wasn't something that, and perhaps it happened in your life here and now, but I think that came in with a soul memory of being maybe suffocated and being kind of shoved down and unable to be you and unable to express your beauty and your light. And so Lilith with the first house shows that you have transcended the lessons of imbalance and relations early in life. And it relates to how you see yourself as divine feminine. You are liberated love and sovereignty. And so once you move through this calibration, once you become calibrated, if you will, you again are divine feminine and you are sovereign love. It just is. And it just is Ursula. The Libra zodiac even adds to this ability to transcend and to calibrate. It even added to the gifts of just that, your ability to balance everything. You're drawing towards you powerful lessons of divine relation with this, harmonizing your connection with the divine in yourself, and then emanating this calibration, emanating this crystallized being that you are outward. And that's when you become a beacon. People are just drawn towards you, and you becoming a beacon of centered way of life. People are going to see your balance and your beauty. And again, that crystallization of divine source within yourself. This is all the calibration kind of comes from allowing that divinity to flow through you. That's what gave uh, the the gifts of transcending, and gave you the strength to transcend those imbalances, because I'm sure they came up a little bit. All of these relationships are going to show you how you should be connecting with who you are. And that again is coming from an awareness of the divinity and the source found within yourself. And because it's in your first house, again, this is just, that's why I keep repeating, this is just who you are. It may be a lot, but sorry about it. It is you. And this is who the world is blessed because of it, because you are standing in your source. And it shows in so many ways, that I see personally. You have affected me. If I want to relate this to the Galactic Center and your ability to relate to others, you have offered me so much, in my in the last year, and especially since the summit. I have been able to see you for who you are. I have seen you in classes and had experiences with you, but I didn't, maybe this is where I was at on my own evolutionary journey, but seeing who you are, and it's like you blessed me with your presence and blessed me with your grace, and it has made me feel light. It has made me feel seen. It has made me recognize my own iridescence. And that's why I put those bubbles there. The beauty of a bubble in the container that you hold, it's how I see you. And that's why I put those there. It's just the most beautiful, the most, I can't even put words to the lightness and the grace and the beauty that you hold. And it's contagious, it's infectious. And that too lends itself to the super galactic center. People are becoming magnetized towards you because of your light and your beauty. You are connected to source creator. Divinity is crystallized in your carbon body, making you a magnet for those drawn to your purity and your love. And if you think of crystallized, they're just reflecting light. As light shines and bounces on them, you have all of these beautiful people coming around you. And when they're looking at you, you're offering them a reflection, a prism, this rainbow prism that's shining through you and reflecting back to them. So that's how I see that the Supergalactic Center is giving us a story of your purity. So her supergalactic center is aligned with other planets, that she has a trine, but I'm going to jump to, and we're just going to focus on her conjunct alignments today. But she also has a trine with the super, or Saturn. So now we're going to move on to the Shapley Attractor. And as we were talking about, I believe that these cosmic access points are going to be come into our consciousness and coming into our field as we're ready for that lesson or those gifts of evolution. I really like the spiral that we've seen, in that the houses, and it's not two-dimensional. We're moving through the first, second, third, and we're moving to the 12th house. That's not going to stop. I believe that the house system is a spiral, and that as astrologers become aware of this evolutionary path that we're on, as we're looking at our multidimensional fields, it's going to lift that house system up, and it's a spiral, and it's moving towards the next big cosmic access point that is that is out there? Are we being pulled toward the super galactic center or Shapley or Diplo? Like it's going to expand and it's going to be so beautiful. So the Shapley attractor, when it shows up in our charts, is really telling us that you cannot hide truth. Truth just is. And it's said that the Shapley attractor is so big and so massive, you can see what's on the other side. So when you have the Shapley attractor in your charts, you have an extraordinary capacity to perceive hidden truths. Oh, actually, let's move on to the next slide because I think, first of all, I want to point out, I just want to move through this quickly. Um, Ursula has 4 planets aligning to the Shapley attractor. And so she is not having any choice in life other than to stand in her cosmic divinity, to stand in her authentic truth. And again, it's just who she is. And if she resisted in any way, Ursula, I'm sure there would have been lessons given very quickly. Um, I, I, I feel that you have to be true to yourself. Otherwise, it won't work. Life just won't work unless you are standing in cosmic authenticity and divine love. So, as it happens, she has Venus conjunct with the super galactic, I'm sorry, with Shapley attractor. And this means that you have encoded in your being what is true. You are authentic truth. You may feel that this causes uncomfortability for others because others may not be standing in their cosmic truth. They may not be moving into this ascension process or attempting to lift themselves out of the 3D. And oftentimes, if we are feeling that, it may feel a little uncomfortable and there may be a little feeling of resistance. That's where I think the square Saturn comes in, to the Shapley attractor. But it's something that it's likely you are able to identify that. And as soon as you realize that, you're just mirroring back to them the truth, what is true. You're mirroring back to them authentic love. It is on them to work through what it is that makes them uncomfortable. You're mirroring back the things that they need to heal. And so when you're holding the Shapley attractor in your charts, you are a mirror for others. And so the accountability that this beautiful gifts allows you to sense and to feel everything that is going on that is hidden in others, that's probably why it may feel uncomfortable, because you're sensing their uncomfortability. It's not that you shouldn't shine and radiate. You're showing them what they need to heal within themselves. That's how I feel and sense that this alignment may show up for you. And that's what that Saturn is presenting. So in regards to Venus and it being conjunct, so these conjunct alignments, they're really pulling us, and the opposite alignments are pushing us. I also want to say that I have this new idea about conjunct alignments and opposite alignments, in that conjunct is not only what we have fully integrated, it is within us, but it's also how we're putting the energy out. And so it's just, again, it's almost, you can't help it. It just is who you are. You're just putting out this beautiful divine truth. And when we have opposites, I feel like our relationship to these opposite alignments are going to be kind of a feminine. We're going to be working internally with these opposite alignments. But I just wanted to point that out because it's something new that I've been feeling about conjuncts and opposites, that conjuncts were projecting this energy because it's so well integrated, and opposites, it's an internal, it's a receptive, and instead of it being an opposite and pushing at us, I feel again it's more of a receptive. It's which way the toroidal sphere, which way our conscious thread to those points are, how it's starting our electromagnetic field. And so I just want to point that out because I don't see many people talking about that, but it feels that way to me. That's how I feel about those conjuncts and opposites. So with Venus in your second house and with Scorpio, Venus is I harmonize, and Scorpio is I am alchemizing. And the second house is the house of security. It was what makes you feel secure. It also can be the house and the area and the expression of your life where we're acknowledging what is valuable to us, the things that we have, money, abundance. But all of those really are what offer us security. And so that's why I feel like the second house is the place in the area where we're learning about feeling secure in this sense of self and secure with who we are. You have encoded in your being what is true. You are authentic truth. You may feel this. Oh, I've already read this. Sorry about that. Let's move on to the next slide. So, just to take a little bit deeper understanding with Venus, you're emotionally authentic and sovereign. This, let's see here. Sorry, this attracts connections in art, emotional beauty, and deep, deep love. Intimacy only exists for you in relationships that reflect pure cosmic truth. And with it being in Scorpio, you embody codes and streams of consciousness to transformation of manipulation and control. And so you have the ability to alchemize things that are manipulating you or controlling you. And this lends itself to your ability for transmuting pain into wisdom and shadow to power. And so again, because this is in your second house, it may have taken a moment for those lessons and for this to really set in. But once you have that realization, and once you're actively allowing that stream of consciousness to come in from the Shapley Attractor, or come in from the Godhead, come in from the Creator, then there is no turning back. Security flows in spaces that reflect truth for you. Living in your divine truth will bring abundance, and the things that you give value to is a reflection of who you are. And so that is why and how it expresses and shows up for you, this Shapley Attractor with Venus and Scorpio in your second house. Again, you also have other alignments with Shapley. It's trining Jupiter in Pisces in the sixth house. I don't want to take up too much time, but you also have a sextile to Uranus and Virgo in the 12th house. I've included a little, just kind of a little intuitive hit at the bottom of these. And then, oh, the Saturn, I left that out because I wanted to explain that to you. That's why I hope that I made that clear on how that Saturn is. It's just a little bumpy if you don't bring those lessons in. So I don't want to go too much more into and take up,
Wow,
but
Brandy.
those were the alignments, that the strongest alignments. You also have some alignments with Laniakea, and I've created a similar slides indicating the planet
Oh,
and zodiac and house for the Laniakea as well. You didn't have any alignments with the galactic center. And so for me, this indicates that you've already been there, done that. You're coming in already wired, already connected. Your stream of consciousness with the creator is in you already. You didn't need to go through a lesson to have that realization. Maybe lessons in order to wake you up to what you have within yourself. But that would be how I interpret not having any alignments with the galactic center. We're on this evolutionary spiral process. And again, you are coming in already embedded with the divine within you. So
wow. Well, if I could just shine some light back, that was amazing. And I know if someone signs up for a reading, that they get a video presentation back with a
mhm,
PDF from
mhm.
Brandy. Um, the visuals were stunning. I mean, I'm very visually attuned and they're gorgeous. The message that you offered me, I didn't realize I had so many alignments with Shapley. So thank you. Because I can look at my chart, but then I'm on to looking at other people and I'm more interested in other people sometimes. But for what you shared with me, it'll give me more of a time to sit with Venus in Scorpio and play with this super cosmic axis point of Shapley. Um,
And also,
yeah.
just, I apologize for interrupting. I just thought it was so profound too that, Venus is the artist inside of us. It's the beauty inside of us. It's the creatress inside of us. And just to see how activating your artwork is, it just was very profound to me how that lent itself, that your paintings are these stargates that you're creating in your artwork. And so I just wanted to
Oh,
point that out. That's how I saw Venus showing up, that you're offering these beautiful gifts for other people to find connections within themselves and be able to access the stars through your beauty and your art. That
thank
was
you.
just beautiful.
Well, in
Mhm.
fact, I'm wearing this is an early Ankh, but it's also
Oh,
connected to Hathors and Venus. So for me, I wear
wow.
it knowing that this is my sigil in a certain way,
I love that.
So it's like again, Ankh, Venus, Hathors.
Ah,
So I
I
think
love
you
that.
really tuned into the energy. And when we're playing with like something as massive as a black hole, the messages that you weave together and showed me and visually, I just felt like I'm going to sit with them and see how they activate something in my body, what that feels like. Now, I do have to ask you a question. When you
Yes.
find people with all four
Mm-hmm.
super cosmic axis points, so the
Yes.
galactic center, super galactic center, Shapley, and the great attractor,
Mm-hmm.
what does that typically mean for you? Because many times
Mm-hmm.
people are asking me, um, I mean, I have my own thoughts, but I wanted to know what you were thinking when you see
Yes.
all four.
If I can use the term, these guys are bad, you know what. They're like galactic angelics. I think that those cosmic access points not only point to our abilities to connect innately, but I think that they also indicate a little bit of angelic, galactic angelics. I the multidimensional parts of our bodies, if we just think of our field and as it's moving in this way, if you stand back and look at someone standing in their own frequency, their own light, those rotations and those oscillations represent and look to me like wings. And so I often
Beautiful.
see those, you have the ability that someone has for transcendence once they have these points in their chart is just phenomenal. And we're coming up on a point in a time on Earth where we don't have time to move through all the little nuances of our human experiences, not even the nuances found in all of these lifetimes in within the cosmos. We're uh, embarking upon something so huge and so great. And so I think oftentimes these souls where there's multiple of these cosmic access points, and especially strong conjuncts, and I think opposites are just as strong as the conjuncts. These are powerhouses, and these are teachers, these are healers, and they're coming in not to figure out how to heal and what has happened. And I'm not trying to mock, because I am still on a healing journey and it is a humbling process. But my higher self knows full well that healing is miraculous. I do believe that. And I know that oftentimes our egos, even our galactic egos, because the galactic center is calling us out to transcend our galactic ego. I think the sun is calling us out to transcend our ego. And so, and and our egos are attached to the traumas, and there we begin to identify with the traumas. Again, I'm not saying that it's not happening, because let me just give a personal experience. But I have been through some very traumatic experiences, and I used to be weighted down by it. It used to affect me, and I got sad, and I needed to move through that. But once I was able to tap into this divinity, once I'm able to tap into my own feminine divine consciousness, you begin to use that experience in order to grow and expand. And I believe that wholeheartedly. And there's so many things happening on the earth right now. It's important for us to tap into these cosmic access points. If nothing else, just to begin to think outside of the box. What else is out there? Tap into who you are. I hope that that answered your question. And again, I'm not belittling anybody or negating that we have to move through some types of experiences, but the earth right now has a lot going on, and it's our duty as star seeds, as galactic beings, to transcend what is happening on our planet. And if I may also, I want to point out, I forgot to mention this, my own spiritual practice. I practice something called a meditation of twin hearts. It's something I've learned through pranic healing. And the concept is that you're tapping into this divine consciousness, not just to receive peace and to be connected. It's my duty and my responsibility and my honor to bless something. Do you want to bless your family? Do you want to bless the planet? Do you want to bless the cosmos? Do you want to bless the sun? As we receive connections with these divine consciousness, and they're operating and stimulating our bioelectronic field, our electromagnetic field, it is our responsibility as we begin to work with these energies to bless and to change and to transcend. And you, Ursula, because of what I saw in your chart, do this naturally. You don't even need to sit down in meditation and make a conscious effort to send energy. You being here allows others around you to feel blessed. And so that's a very important information. It's just important to recognize the responsibility that you hold once you become aware of your galactic aspects, once you become aware of your divine self, once you become aware of your relationship with the divine, with God, with your feminine divinity. I'll go on and on, so I better stop.
Okay.
But I'm real power.
You are
I'm
on fire. I mean,
yeah, I
I
feel
love
strongly
that.
about that.
And I think sharing, like, this is Brandy come to life. And for me, being double Virgo, Pisces moon, I like to look at something like, show me the proof, like show me the points. And when it's your natal moment, or my children's natal moment, or my husband, it's like, wow, it helps me understand you know, how I can step in and where I can radiate and what's going on with the child. It's like, okay, that's
Yes.
part of their journey. But,
Yeah.
talking with you and pulling back to these galactic points of the galactic center, super galactic center, and beyond, it's just like, it's in me. And it's just
Yes.
time to, like, you're helping me remember, wake up and embrace my dark moon Lilith, embrace my Venus and Scorpio, the Libran Lilith, working with the super galactic center. It's for me to kind of pull your visuals and feel how they sit in my body, and then, like, bless you, Brandy, and bless Mother Earth. And my God, we're here,
Yes.
we're alive, and bless my ego, because that's the
Yes.
whole joy of being in 3D is, how do I play with this nonstop mind, and the victim consciousness, and when am I tired of playing in that scenario? But I
Yeah.
think the galactic and your life experiences, knowing and remembering
Hmm.
star lineages, and then now offering, these readings to help others. For me, when you were talking, I'm thinking, wow, if there's a teenager or young adult, um, on your radar screen that could use a little extra guidance. I wish I knew or had met you when I was a teenager. It'd be like, whoa,
Oh,
okay. So when it gets really uncertain, like, I walked around for so long into my 40s, like, who am I? Who am I? So you nailed it, and it wasn't until I sat and went through all that life experiences do I now feel like, hey, I'm in a stage of life where I am who I am. And I am kind of like this mirror ball or that beautiful
yes.
bubble. And so it's like an archetype of energy.
A
I don't have to be a
prism.
shooting
You're
star. I can just be a bubble. You know,
yeah.
what was that? Calgonite, take me away. But I'm dating myself. Some of you listening may
I
not know
remember
the bubble bath.
that. I
Calgonite.
remember.
Thank you so much, Brandy. Is there anything you want to wrap up with, or
Mm,
share with people about
I
getting a reading?
I do. I want to point out that I've been working on a project that I'm very proud of. It's been in the making for about 2 years, and it is an interactive galactic astrology report. And the functionality of it is that it will have buttons, and when you hit the buttons, it will bring you to a descriptive sheet about the zodiac or the planet or the star systems that come up in your charts. And so look out for that. That will probably be up by the end of April. I
Oh,
know
wow.
I've been talking about it, but I feel like I need to, as an artist, you need to say, okay, I need to stop now.
I
I'm
know, like
done.
deadline time. Well, you guys, I have seen a glimpse into Brandy's artistry. And let me tell you, I haven't seen anything like it. And I didn't know you can have an interactive PDF. But if you want to push a button and see what it means, you don't need to really know astrology. You just open up the document, and Brandy pours so much love and her intuitive and psychic hits into a reading. So when I say reading, I mean you'll get the report or you'll get her video recording. But if you want a little extra light in your life, consider going to ourgalacticstory.com
Oh,
and send Brandy a little message. But thank you for joining me on the playground, and I hope you'll come back
thank you,
sometime.
Ursula.
Yeah. In
Thank
fact,
you
when
so
your
much.
PDF, your interactive report is out, come back and we'll share with people. It's really a user-friendly way. It's almost like an app, but it's in a PDF. And I just find, like,
It's
it's
very cool.
it's really cool. Like, wow, she's so ahead of it. And again, pouring so much of her love and her energy. This is really a star being that just, I think of you and I just get this big smile. But those visuals are amazing, like
Thank you.
amazing. I just
Thank
love the
you.
color and the image choices. It's
Oh,
remarkable.
may I bring one more thing up?
Yeah,
I
betcha.
also am offering a workshop on how to use Canva. If you are interested, my email is ourgalacticstory@gmail, and it's catered to galactic astrologers. However, I think that it would be beneficial for anyone who is a little lost in Canva. I use it as an artistic modality, if you will. And so I really want to encourage people to learn how to use it and express themselves through Canva, social media posts, presentations.
Yeah.
Um, so I just wanted to mention that as well. Please email me if you're interested. It's $50 for a 2 hour session. I have multiple dates for workshops. So yeah,
And that's just your introductory rate. So it may be going up, you guys.
it
I
might go
sat in
up.
on
Yeah.
Brandy's class, and let me tell you, I wrote myself a note. I said, I am witnessing Brandy in her Canva art studio, sharing her incredible creative process. So it's not only she'll teach you, but what she's creating, it's like going into an artist studio. And so it's not like Canva 101. She can't help herself. She creates these incredible visuals. So, I mean, I'd grab the $50 introductory rate because I think she's going to become the Galactic Astrology Canva lady, for lack of a better term. But thank you for my bubbles. Thank you for my
Thank
reading.
you.
And we hope to see you next time on the Ascension Playground. Bye, everybody. And
Bye.
thank you, Brandy.
Thank you.